Welcome back to the podcast for entrepreneurs, startups, and business mavericks. If you're not a maverick, you don't have to go home, but you got to get up out of this podcast. In this podcast, we teach entrepreneurs how to defeat the corporate giant. Just like in the story of David and Goliath, David defeated a much taller and stronger Goliath, not by fighting the giant in hand-to-hand combat, but by using technology. A slingshot. The slingshot allowed the smaller David to attack from a distance that minimized the advantages that Goliath had over the smaller David. My name is Mark Anthony Peterson. I am an entrepreneur, a futurist, and the managing executive at Ceyero Consulting, a small business strategy and technology consulting firm. I'm also the author of the book Guerrillapreneur, Small Business Strategy for Davids Wanting to Defeat Goliaths. This podcast is designed today to help small businesses learn how to make a dollar out of 15 cents. This is a continuing series because I want startups and small businesses to learn how to conserve cash that they can use and invest in what I call slingshot technology. Slingshot technology is traction-oriented, disruptive innovations that allow your small business to compete on price and service at the same level as the corporate giant. I know you're saying, that's crazy, but it's not. In this sharing and gig economy, you have startups that are launching businesses that are enabling them to compete with the corporate giant. A great example I like to use is ZenFast in Ireland. They're crowdsourcing package delivery, allowing them to deliver to your front door at a cheaper cost than FedEx and UPS by tapping into individuals who are already going from point A to point B, allowing them to make a little extra money for delivering a package. And guess what? The service delivery time is at or better than what you find with FedEx. And in many cases, they're offering same-day delivery. So your startup can invest in this sort of disruptive technology. And this series is designed to help you find ways that you can cut your costs and invest in that disruptive technology. Each week or each month, we go through 10 ways that we can cut your costs that you can use to invest in this disruptive technology. So let's go down the top 10 ways for this month that you can reduce your costs to invest in slingshot technology. Have you thought to try to get an article on your business in your alumni magazine of your alma mater? That's a great way for you to get exposure to people who have a vested interest in wanting to see your business take off. Why not gamify that article by telling the alumni that for every one of them that buys your product or service, you will donate back to the college? Set up a unique code on your website and allow those alumni to use that when they check out so that you can accurately track all those goods and services that they have purchased and then make a big deal when you turn that check over to your college. That sort of process can get you continued notoriety, support from your college, and certainly continued support from the alumni. Well, let's look at the second way. Let's stay with the college theme. Have you thought to sponsor panel discussions at local city colleges or even your alma mater? That's a great way for you to get on campus monthly or quarterly and talk about topics relevant to your industry while also subtly promoting your business. It gets you in front of an audience of new purchasers who are in 2 to 3 years going to have the kind of money that can support the growth of your business. Again, let's stay on campus and let's look at the third way that you can save a little money that you can invest in disruptive technology. How about your fraternity or sorority? Or even if you didn't join one when you were on campus, have your business support their community service activity. They're always looking for sponsors or people that can provide tools or equipment to aid them in their community service that many of them are required to do as members of the fraternity. Provide that support and even give them the t-shirts that they need when they go out to perform that community service. That t-shirt can have your logo, your company name, and they'll be out there doing good with your business being promoted at the same time. Okay, let's talk about the fourth way. Now, this way may be a little bit crazy, but we're guerrillapreneurs. We're always a little bit crazy. Why not rent a projector and broadcast your logo or your company's mission statement on a blank wall on your building? It's going to catch attention. It's going to make people look. Now, if you're a guerrillapreneur like me, which I've been preaching to each one of you to not have a building until you absolutely need it, then find a partner's building, a supplier, or someone with a vacant building that's not being used that won't mind you broadcasting your logo, your message, your art that will attract some attention and grow your brand awareness. That's an inexpensive way to get your name out in front of thousands of people who may go past that building and see something different broadcast on a blank wall, because that'll be your logo. Let's stay in the community and look at the fifth way that you can get some cheap attention for your business that can save you marketing dollars that you can invest back in this disruptive technology. Why not write human interest stories for local newspapers that relate to your industry? Now, I've used this several times where I've written articles that can bring in topics that are relevant to my industry and tell it from a human interest perspective. And I've sent those off to local newspapers who are always hungry for content. Now, the more you can localize that human interest story, the more attention it's going to get, and it can drive business. I've done that several times, and guess what? I've even gotten leads, and I've gotten consulting clients. So pen to paper, human interest story, and you could end up catching the eyes of someone who is concerned about that topic, and they will assume that you are the expert because your name is in print. Now, that's edgy, but it's not as edgy as the number 7 way to get some attention for your business. Why don't you invest in a big chicken? Big chicken, I don't necessarily mean a big chicken as a live chicken, but a big chicken in terms of a monument. Let me tell you a little story about the Big Chicken of Marietta. The famed Big Chicken of Marietta is a landmark that's located at one of the busiest intersections in Marietta, Cobb Parkway and Roswell Road. The 56-foot steel structure was designed by Hubert Puckett, a Georgia Tech architectural student, and it was built originally for the Johnny Reb's Chick, Chuck, and Shake Shack, which was a local restaurant in Marietta. Because this 56-foot tall chicken was standing outside of his restaurant, that became the landmark that everybody referred to as far away as downtown Atlanta. Every business that advertised on TV or radio would always refer to the Big Chicken when trying to describe how to get to their business. Many of the local car dealerships would say, we're 5 miles from the Big Chicken, which made the local restaurant the place to be because everybody knew how to get there from as far away as those commercials could be seen. Now, the Big Chicken and Johnny Reb's Chick, Chuck, and Shake Shack was purchased by KFC in 1974. And KFC had plans to bring the Big Chicken down. But the public outcry from all the people who knew of the Big Chicken forced KFC to keep that as the mascot for the local restaurant that they put right there where Chuck's restaurant had been. So the millions of dollars that have now and free advertising that have come along from having the big chicken is now deriving to KFC. Now, I'm not saying you have to go get a big chicken, but big, bold moves like that can put your business on the map. There's a restaurant here in Buckhead, a car wash here in Buckhead that has a big gorilla in front of it. There's a restaurant down the street from it that has a 40-foot tall fish in front of it. And everybody refers to those landmarks as places where you will know where you are and how to get to their business. And by default, you know how to get to their business. Think about big, bold, disruptive ways to invest one time in a landmark, and it can become synonymous with your brand. Now, speaking of branding, what's another crazy way, low-cost way to get some coverage and to get your brand and logo out there amongst your target audiences? Why don't you give a gift card to every college student that will shave your logo into their head? Now, I would suggest that you do that at one barbershop and then notify all of the local media on the day when you're going to conduct the shavings. I bet you get some cameras that show up not only for the shaving, but we want to follow up on the story to see how many people got their head shaved. Make sure you capture it for your social media and watch it go viral. Millions of dollars of coverage, as well as shaved heads, will be out there with your brand, bringing people into your business. What's the number 9 way for you to get some attention for your business at a low cost that you can then turn around and invest in this disruptive slingshot technology? Why not hand out breakfast bars with your business card taped to the back at industrial parks around where your business is located? Get there at 7:30, 7:45, stand out in front of the industrial park and hand out granola bars. Very few people are going to turn them away, but to open them up, they got to get through your business card. Eventually, you can make some great leads and contacts from people who will see you there every Monday or every Friday handing out those granola bars, and conversations will ensue. Great way for you to make contacts, maybe B2B contacts, maybe B2C contacts, by giving out just some free granola bars. Now, just like on David Letterman's show, the number 10 way to save money for this month is the hashtag game. For those of you who aren't on Instagram, get on Instagram. Then use Instagram to search for hashtags that are relevant to your industry and to your company. When you've done that hashtag search, go in and post replies and questions to all the relevant hashtags. After that, include those hashtags in all of the posts that you make to Instagram for your business. That's going to drive a lot of awareness, and for other people who are searching for those hashtags, they will see you as part of that community and can grow your expertise and your potential purchasing audience. Thank you guys for tuning in this month for how to make $1 out of 15 cents. We've given you 10 more ways that you can cut your costs and invest in slingshot technology. Please support us. We're going to build a hacker space in Selma, Alabama with your support. Go to patreon.com/Guerrillapreneur and support the show. $1 an episode, one-time donation, or just like our podcast on Podomatic or iTunes and share the show. Like the show, provide us some comments, and those are ways that you can also support the Guerrillapreneur movement. Guerrillapreneurs. Scott Sullivan said it best in episode 7 of Guerrillapreneur, The Art of Waging Small Business Warfare podcast. Be a mace. Sharpen those spikes, and remember that if your business is not breaking something, you might be the next thing that gets broken. This is Mark Peterson, and this has been how to make $1 out of 15 cents.